What the hell?
And we live. Oh, I gotta do a normal Thursday intro. I screwed up next level on purpose, by the way.
I'm upset because there was all these people in the intro, and I wasn't one of them. We need to fix that.
You're not. Oh, we gotta add that in there then.
I wasn't.
We gotta add that in there.
We would take a clip from today's episode, but you might need a better camera.
Yeah.
So welcome back, everyone.
Lee looks like he's lit.
Yo, I have a light and everything right here, but if I take it away, that's worse, right?
No, I meant, brother, you look like you're lit.
Oh, I'm fine.
I'm fine.
I'm faded.
Oh man,
How's
how's everyone doing today?
I was on the right. Now I'm on the left. Our position switch.
Yeah, so
Whoa.
for whatever reason, this happens to me all the time. There you go. I just flipped you guys. For whatever reason, the chat never shows up for me, so I have to like refresh. But I knew if I refreshed, and there's 4 of us in here, it was gonna like do this whole switcheroo, and next I was gonna get all confused. So anyway,
Next level looks like he's about to join WWE or something. It's like, yeah,
NWO.
brother.
It is what it is, yo. Let's go. We're about to throw down.
So before we start, of course, we got to always give our shout outs to our sponsors in the description. Make sure you guys do get that VPN. Protect yourself before you do something stupid and you got babies all over the place. So make sure you guys do get yourself protection.
You want to make sure that you get Buzz TV, BuzzTVGlobal.com. You want to make sure that you check out their website. They always got some great sales and some great devices and some great customer service. So go check out BuzzTVGlobal.com. So.
And completely not sponsored, this Hawaiian water is really good. So go buy it.
Yeah, and if you want to drink healthy, get some stevia drinks. Dr. Stevia tastes like Dr. Pepper, organic, vegan, makes you gassy.
I don't need any more gas at this point in my life.
Oh my god. Oh my god. So if you guys haven't heard of Juggernaut or Lee from, can I even say from Supreme Builds?
Yeah, it's fine. Say whatever you want.
Okay, all right. So can you give us a little bit of a background before we dive into the actual context of the show?
I mean, you want to talk about Supreme Builds as the background? Is that what you want?
Well, who are you? Why are you here? No, I'm joking.
Well, we're a couple retired mobsters, and we started this YouTube channel so we could take out hits.
That sounds about accurate, too.
No, I mean, everybody pretty much knows I started Supreme Builds. Jugs came on pretty much right away. And me, him, and Cell were making builds in there, just for a long time. And somebody's got their YouTube on because I can hear myself.
Not me. That's Jugs, probably.
And,
No, not me.
no. I don't know. I heard the echo there for a second, but it's all right. It's gone now. But we did that for a long time, and we're here because it's over. So
Can you give us a little bit of context? Like, how long ago was that you started?
Oh man.
Yeah. When was your first build? When was like the first of the first?
Well, I mean, I made titanium originally in I think 2014, something like that. I think it was 2014.
Yeah, I think it was 2014, and then we changed the coin to 2016 at one point. Then tried to do it.
2014 was first. I think 2016 was when or 2015, either 2015 or 2016, I switched it to that gray background with the titanium logo, and then we added the coins in like 2016 or 17, somewhere in there. So it just, reiterations. And then Jugs made Juggernaut build. Cell made the Cell build. We had a couple others in there from time to time. But it was just a pretty fun ride for a while. Got pretty expensive after a while. pretty, I don't know, I guess kind of crazy, just the whole scenario of it, like uh, people not understanding what was happening as far as Kodi updating to from 16 and 17 and 18 now 19, and how things don't transfer over, and time after time, every time a Kodi updated, what was the biggest thing, Jugs? It was always, my Kodi updated and my build doesn't work anymore. And I'm like, that's why we gave you forks. Like, it was like, but every single time Kodi updated, it was the same thing. We must have got like hundreds and hundreds of messages. What's wrong with my build? It doesn't work. Like, that was one thing. The block sellers was another big thing.
Oh man, don't get me started with those guys.
And, I mean, that's what drove the costs up tremendously for us. And I think over time, it just became, that's true. Storm took care of the forks. She did all the I think a bunch of forks for 17 Jugs. You did some 18 forks too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Fork you
That
all.
was based off of what Storm did when we decided that we were going to do some forks so we could offer different things. She started that. Just to backtrack a little bit, like I feel, which was not really the downfall. Boy, that chat really covers my face. But what we ran into with Kodi, and that when the reason I joined Supreme Builds, my part is I was a box seller, and I got into down the spiral of just being overwhelmed so much, and I was using titanium. I just happened to land on it, and then I got to know Lee in the group and just joined and just went from there. And yes, like Lee said, the daunting task that anybody who has any type of builds, the biggest thing that happened for us is like people were not either willing to or not really capable of understanding that we didn't control the content you could watch in there or the things you can do with it. That's why we'd always get, my build isn't working, or this add-on stopped working, or where do I find this? And you try to help as much as possible, but then you get to the point of, I'm not answering those questions anymore, because you can just simply search in YouTube or do a Google search or join groups or things like that. And the updates just became unbearable. Unbearable is just, and I don't get me wrong, I still love Kodi. Kodi is where I started, but Kodi, it took me a long time. I fought it. I did a lot of stuff in the background, and I am a 100% start with Kodi, but get into the one-click programs. The one-click applications are the way the future is for anybody who's wanting to use them. Somebody asked who created the Supreme Builds logo. Depends which one you're looking at. The original was Lee.
There's a few iterations of that. But I guess the correct answer might be Warner Brothers.
Yep. We paid them a lot of money. Lots.
We did change minimum 3 things to make it not the same, but I think it was pretty obvious that the SB was pretty similar to the WB logo.
It's true. It's true. It's true.
Yeah, there's so much stuff. I just cut, like a lot of the great things we did, like when we created backgrounds.
Yeah, I forgot about that. We put all the backgrounds up on servers so that the builds would be really small, and they would automatically switch once you loaded up the build through those servers. That was fun too. Did a lot of stuff.
That was always the name of the game with Kodi builds, how to make them as small as possible so people wouldn't have storage issues.
Yep. Especially with the firesticks, because they just were such small storage space. So.
Well, I remember when I was using titanium, and then got on Supreme Builds and was just a user that and they're a subscriber, and then worked my way up part of the team, and then there was you know, there was a few of us, but then it came down to there was four. You know, I think we were left with four, and it was a great run up into there. Met some great people, but yeah, there's a lot of changes we did, and like Lee said, it costs a lot. And a lot of people don't realize that when you're using servers and you're paying a shit ton of money to have those just to host your repo and safely do it, and that can handle the bandwidth. We switched probably a few years back to a couple free ones and allowed us to moderate. And I have some access or like that to a data center where I put it on to one of my servers that I had, and I was literally watching it. And I messaged Lee, and I'm like, okay, we have Juggernaut and Titanium on there, and that's when I started. Like that's when I took over Titanium, because at one point Lee decided to move on and I took over on Titanium. So we put it on that server, and I was watching the graph, and it was 39, what was it? 39 gigs a minute of downloads.
That's insane.
Yeah, it was crazy,
It
man. And that
was
was
like-
way later in the game. Like,
And that was way than that was, yes.
really
And I was
low.
watching, and I got a message from like my host, like, yeah, you have unlimited, but you're going crazy. What are you doing? And downloading at that time, what was it? 179 megs.
179 megabytes, I think, was the.
And it was going, it was crazy. Like, because at that time, that's when there was another YouTuber. Remember, he always used to, I can't remember his name. So memorable. I have the number one. I had the number one build for so many years on this platform that you could download. I can't remember what it was.
Remember, we put it up there, right? We put Titanium on there to try to be one of the servers. It was something to do with Kodi builds, and you were able to upload your build to the site.
Yeah,
and it would tell you like which one was downloaded the most, like which one was 1, 2, 3.
Oh,
But they posted it for free.
is it Kodi Tips?
No, I don't think it was Kodi Tips. It was something else. But it was so funny because I was like, oh, they want to host Titanium for free? Joke's on you. And I put it up there and I added it as a download server in the Wizard.
yeah, and then I put Juggernaut on there. So and then we had Cellx on there, and then I don't know if we had Storm when Storm had a build. We had one in there. It was the top three were us. Overall, monthly, worldwide, it was Titanium, Juggernaut, and then Cell, and then it would go back and forth. Me, Cell, me, then Cell. But Titanium was always number one.
Oh, Kodi Apps.
Yeah,
KodiApps.com.
that might have been what it was. It might have been Kodi Apps. Maybe that's
Yeah.
what it was.
And it was crazy, like what we like, and I can't remember what was his name. Like he started a whole bunch of crap or whatever. But anyways, like the YouTube drama and stuff. And he had like the easy build, or no, not the easy build, something whatever. But I'm the number one, and I just sat back and like, have you looked lately? I don't need to. You might want to look. Why? Because
I was hoping whoever said they were number one was right, because that would mean my bills would go down.
Can you give us an estimation of maybe like a monthly cost, what it was costing you at one point?
At the height of it all, I had a fully dedicated server for the repo, which the Wizard was also on. That was costing around, it wasn't like any kind of IPTV level server, but it was a fully dedicated server. I think it was like 250 on speed in both directions.
Mm-hmm.
And that was, I got that at a pretty good deal, like 800 a year.
Wow.
So I had that one for like 800 a year, but no streaming was allowed, so it was all right, whatever. Then I had at the height there was 5, I think, fully dedicated IPTV servers that were giving me, I think it was 30 terabytes a month of bandwidth was the cheapest I could get, and each one of those I believe was around $140 or $150, something like that. Just regularly, if nothing went over, but they all went over every month.
all the time.
All the time. And they were over long before the month was over. So, I mean, we're looking at all in all, we had that. I had some seed boxes to try to supplement.
Seed boxes, they sound good, but they don't. Their bandwidth gets eaten up way too quickly.
Yeah, I mean, it was crazy. I think I was paying $20 a month for seed boxes, and I had like 8 of them. And I was just trying to like throw smaller things on there, like APK downloads, things like that through the wizard, just to try to like make the bandwidth go from different places for different things.
Right.
But I mean, I was constantly paying, I think, and it was something ridiculous. Like they wanted an extra $150 for another 10 terabytes on each server. Like once you hit the max, and there were times where I just let them like die out one by one, and I just write in the group that only use link 1 because that's the only one that's still live. And then once they all died out, I'd have to go spend 150 like to get 2 of them back up. So it was another $300. It was just nuts.
Well, then we were in the background. We'd be changing the on the build and the access files, changing it to where you wouldn't see. It would route to the other server with no hiccups. Okay, so this one here, even though link one and 3 were on the same server, 2 and 4 were on the same server, and then when it get down, it's like, okay, well, 3 of them were on server 1, the other server 2. Oops, server 2's down. All 4 are on server 1, and it lasts 10 minutes, and we're like,
it's all server 1. And it was crazy. And my whole thing with that was just like, if it was just end users only that were doing this, they would download it once, and it would work for a long time until there was an update. And we even got it to where the updates were automatic. It would tell you there was an update, and you could go get it, So if it was just end users, we wouldn't have this problem. The problem is you got a gazillion box sellers out there trying to load up 100 boxes all the time and then put them on their website or sell them at the flea market or whatever the fuck they were doing. Can I curse? I can curse, right?
Yeah, that's right. You're good.
I was holding back.
Stuff, so. And I'm like, you guys can't just download it and put it on a fucking USB stick and keep inserting it into another, like, why? Just, you don't have to download it every single fucking time.
Well, they should have been twerping it. That's what they should have been doing.
Anything,
Well, we put out
I think we try to give people instructions on how to do it.
Yeah, I'll be right back. Hold on 1 second.
Okay.
Sure. I probably did a YouTube video on how to do that too, back in the day.
But these guys had and that's how I used to tell people all the time, like, if your box seller doesn't even take the time to learn how to do something like this, they don't even know what they're doing. Like, they're just selling you a device and they're going to walk away, and when it messes up, you're going to come to my group. That's what happened all the time too. I got so many people that joined my group and just went, I bought this from such and such box seller and I have no idea what's going on. Now I'm technical support for some guy who got $100, and I'm like, I got nothing except a big bill. So, eventually that has to come to an end. It's like, you can't just keep doing that.
So if I understand correctly, Lee, you're spending thousands potentially a month, right? Giving away a free
I would
product.
probably say it was close to $1,000 a month on average.
On average, right.
On average.
And then other people were selling devices with your builds on it. And then their customers were coming to you for technical support off of something that you were paying for to provide a free service for people.
Yep. And let me tell you, some of these guys actually sold the boxes and gave people my Facebook group in the box and said, go there for your technical support. And I was just like people would message me and tell me, I was told to come here by the person that sold me. And I'm like, seriously?
And those people were in your group already.
Yeah, they had to be in my group. I'm like, I tell you what, man, it's fun and it's cool and whatever. Like, it was a lot of fun. But at the end of the day, the life of being a build maker and distributor in that realm is one of absolute, like, just ungratefulness at the end of the day. Like, that's really what it boils down to. Like, it's all like, you got regular people going, this don't work, that don't work, and they don't understand that we're not responsible if this add-on goes down or doesn't go down. We can only update as fast as we can. We got families, we got lives, we do whatever we can do. And then you got box sellers just sending people to you. You made absolutely nothing on this box seller's sale, and now you're technical support for somebody that has no clue what's going on. So, I mean, there was no, there was a lot of people that were, that'll say thank you and stuff, and those people were great, but at the end of the day, we can't keep spending $1,000 a month, and even the most grateful of people in words really didn't want to put money into it to keep it going either, you know. So like,
Yeah. What I would do, because I had the same issues with the simple build where it was just, it became stupid, but at the same time I also had a YouTube channel that was helping support a lot of that cost. So I was like, cool, any donations or anything like that, and I forgot who it was way back when said they showed me how to do that. Remember how you could do those little pop-up messages that come up right when the thing loaded?
when the build loads, yeah.
When the build, yeah. So then I started to do that, and I would put a little pop-up, and it would say for, you know, if you want to keep this content going, and then I just drop my link right there, because yeah, man, it would get stupid expensive. And
Yeah, I mean, the only way I got any kind of money out of that was when I blocked the IP addresses. And I said, you got, you know, 3, and I was generous about it. I gave 3 per 24 hours. And then once you hit 3 in 24 hours, that IP address was blocked for the next 24 hours before they could download again. And that was the biggest shitstorm of private messages I ever got. I learned who every single box seller was in a day. And I was
that's what we were getting into. What was it that at one point, because you had me on that at the beginning, something chicken, something that verified your IP address or loaded it and it logged it.
It was IP Monkey.
Yeah. Oh yeah, there chicken. And then you get to, then you were able to get onto a VIP list and you can do more downloads.
Yes, I just basically told the box sellers, "Fuck you, pay me." You know, like, you guys are eating up all my bandwidth. You guys got to start paying me.
Right.
And that worked for like, you know, 6 to 9 months, somewhere in that range, where people were paying. But every month it would drop off. A couple people left, and basically they were just finding other builds to load because it was apparently too much to just. I was like, just send me, you know, $50, you know, a month. How much money? That's half of one device you're selling.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, how many devices are you selling? And they absolutely would not do it. Like, they would find any way to just keep that $50 in their pocket. Eventually, I was down to like 10 people left paying me, you know, and then it became like, you know, 8, 7, 5, and I was like, forget it, you know. Like, it was great. I was like, cool, the bandwidth is down, you know, but I'm still got all these servers that I'm paying for. So then I started, like, I weaned off from 5 servers to 4 to 3. You know, I started pulling those down. But I did a test once, and I took, after everybody stopped paying me, I took it off before, like, I took the IP blocking off before I dropped the servers, just to see what would happen. Like, within a month and a half, right back up. And I was like, the minute I won't charge you, you will come back and destroy my shit again. But if I ask you for 50 fucking bucks, like, that's too much to ask for. Meanwhile, you're making thousands every month if you're downloading this much that it's costing me this much money.
Oh, they're killing it. And what they're doing is they're buying refurbished fire sticks, and they're selling them for, like, you know, $1.50. And you know, they're making some stupid amount of money. And like, I've seen it all over, like, Facebook. I've like Facebook Market, or what's the other app? OfferUp. I've seen it on, like, people posting OfferUp fire sticks, fully loaded, free pay-per-view, free everything, you know, $150. It's just like, damn, dude. I'm like, how the hell is this post even up here? You know?
I don't get it, man. I mean,
well, the one thing that I learned and I've learned pushed out there is I don't mind if somebody wants to be a box seller or somebody wants to do things, but then you step up and you be the one to be the support. You be the one to either create your own build or try to work out a deal with whoever has the build. Not just go in there for the money and then just push them away when somebody wants to have support. Like, just like any good business practice or anything, you want to give support. But a lot of those that decided to do that in the you know, a lot of the YouTube, the plethora of YouTube videos we did and lives and stuff like that, people didn't want to didn't want to take the time to actually educate themselves. They just wanted to jump in and out for the money and then pass the buck along. Like I said, if you got like, man, if you had a stack of 100 fire sticks behind you and you loaded them and you're selling them, good on you, good hustle, but support your gear, you know. And I just got tired of I just got tired of people again just bombarding me with. The worst thing I ever did is I got on Telegram. Lee says, "Oh, get on Telegram."
That was the worst thing, right?
And then I'm still on Telegram.
We had to get on Telegram. We didn't have a choice, really. So.
Well, and now I see people like in my local area. I've seen some guys put up on the Facebook. Literally, they're like, hey, if you want to, you know, if you want to cut your cable or you want to do things, I'm like, oh, you watched one of our shows, did you? And now they're putting IPTV and saying, and I messaged them and I know them. I said, you might want to be careful of that. I said, there's algorithms that are monitoring on Facebook. I said, you got to watch what you do. Oh, it's not the same. Okay.
I see the craziest ads even now, like on Facebook, like actual paid Facebook and Instagram ads for IPTV. Yeah.
For sure, I see that all the time.
How is Facebook and Instagram allowing this to go through?
Mm-hmm.
You know,
well, did you? Okay, so we're sitting here talking about Kodi, and we're talking about IPTV and you know the future and stuff like that, which I want to get into in that. But did you know that Tommy Lee, drummer for Motley Crue, put up like what yesterday or something, put a dick pic up on his Instagram and Facebook, and it took a day for them to ask him to take it down.
Wow.
So that's
they had to ask.
They asked him to. Can you please remove that? Do you guys remember? We were all in our prime. This is before BS streams. Like BS was coming up. This is when you were doing the Rojas. What was it? The show you're doing before? I had mine. NxTLvLTech. You were just kicking ass and fire sticks. Your YouTube channel jumped up really fast on that, and my lives just turned into you know, like giving information and stuff. And then we just watched all the drama unfold on all the other ones. That's when everything was so great on there, but then everything started to change when we had to get out of Facebook. When we had a Facebook group of over 65,000 people on there, and we shut it down. Lee's like, I got to shut this down.
Mine got shut down on me.
What's that?
I literally had to remove every person one by one by one.
And a lot of people don't understand that. You have to go through and remove.
Yeah. 65,000. Right? So you got all these ads now, like these targeted ads that you see on Instagram and Facebook and whatever. Meanwhile, like I literally just the other day, I don't know if either of you guys saw it, but in my Telegram group I posted it. I just had YouTube remove a video I made in 2019 for how to set up the shield because it violated their safety rules or something like
Harms and Dangerous Acts,
harmful and dangerous act because it showed like probably Gaia or something on it. I don't know. Like it was the 2019 setup video. I made a 2021, a 2021 one. Like they went back and took that one away, and I'm like, really? Like, all right.
I don't even make videos anymore, and I've gotten 4 strikes this year.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's ridiculous. Like,
well, when I left, like you stopped doing YouTubes, and I said I'm retiring. Stuff like that. We did a video, I think it was on your thing, saying I'm retiring, and I didn't go back and do anything. And I just recently got emails, go back and check from YouTube for AdSense, and that like we're like after a certain amount of time because you haven't had any activity, we're going to be closing the account. And I go there, there's $600 sitting there.
Sweet.
I'm like, oops. I'm like, okay, you know, and like I'm like, oh, I can definitely use that. Thank you very much. And then I look at my videos, and I'm like, man, I haven't made a video in like well over 2 years. Holy moly!
Yeah, and then I checked your Telegram group the other day. You said you were making one on a Buzz TV device. I seen that.
Yeah, you don't want to know my opinion of Buzz TV. You don't.
Buzz TV.
Buzz, if anybody from Buzz TV is watching, man, straighten out your shit. No, I like the product. That's the thing is I that's one of the things that I would like to get into if I make that decision to do anything else is the reviews and things like that, because I have the products like they sent them to you guys first. I got them as well, like the HD, the fucking Octagon one and whatever that. And I like them. The thing I struggle with is their player, like their whatever the hell you call it, the Buzz.
The Buzz 5?
Yeah, but that's just because I don't use it a lot. And I was a Shield person all the way, Shield until oh, what's that fucking weasel's face there? DVD King or whatever.
Shots fired.
And I don't care if that guy's still around. Like, you're a punk, but he was gonna. He was
Let me
gonna
see.
Doug's really wants to go out with a bang, man.
Right?
Well,
You know what I'm saying?
he was going to send me a fire stick, and a trooper was always saying he's not going to send it to you. He's not going to send it to you. I'm like, yeah, he will. Like, he's good. Made up so many excuses not to send it to me, and then another YouTube user from the States sent me one, and I've been using that forever. And while we're on this, real quick, I owe NxTLvLTech the biggest apology.
You still have it there, don't you?
We moved, we boxed it, I labeled it, and because we moved from our house to here,
Yeah.
and I'm sitting there looking at this, I opened the box, I'm like, are you kidding me?
Yo,
Are
that thing's a
you
beast.
kidding me?
Like a bow.
Yeah. Well, for those who don't know, NxTLvLTech was building a system, and there was a power supply that he was after, and it was $400 and some dollars. He sent me the money. I bought it, and I was to send it to him.
I even
Time
sent you
lapse.
the shipping label and everything. I was like, yo,
He
it's
sent me a
already paid, it's all
shipping
good.
label and everything. And time went by, and we're talking. He's like, "You still got that?" I'm like, "Oh yeah." And then we just moved, and I was gonna pick it. I don't know where it is. It's in here somewhere.
It's a beautiful power. It's one of those ROG 1200 watt power supplies. Massive.
And it's still wrapped in the plastic, like it's unopened. It's brand new. So yes, I got to send it to you. Like, I do apologize because
It's all
we're
good, man.
moving.
Don't
We
worry.
moved into this place, and I don't do YouTubes. I just had the desk set up in here, and I found my computers and everything today. Or my wife did yesterday, actually. And then I look, I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding me! I never sent
It's all good, man. Don't worry.
This guy's
It's
gonna
all
kill
good.
me.
Hey, Lee, I had a question for you.
Yep.
So there's
But
been
before you ask me that question, let me just also say that while DVD King did not actually rip me off personally, I know somebody that's close to me that sent DVD King money for an NVIDIA Shield that he was supposed to send them, and he didn't send it to them either. And to this day, I don't know about to this day because I don't really take part in the community much anymore on YouTube. But the last time I was on, he was still trying to ask me to unblock him from my YouTube channel. But so, for me, just I say, I'm a nice person. I don't say bad things about anybody. The only thing that I'll say is, if DVD King is still out there doing things, I would definitely say, don't give that man any money, because every single person I know that gave him money didn't get a product. So that's all I'll say about that. Go ahead, ask your question.
Oh, there's more to come, people. There's more to come. Juggernaut's here.
Okay, so over the years, there's been lots of groups, right? So there's been Supreme Builds, and there's been several other groups out there. I know that we've talked in the past about TV add-ons, and TV add-ons was able to make some form of income from doing builds. Can you shine a little bit of light about that?
I mean, TV add-ons is a real touchy subject, I guess, because at the end, TV add-ons seem to be, working with the law or something. But I know they figured out. They had a website which they had advertisements on. I know that, and I don't know exactly how they made whatever money they made.
Like this guy had a yacht or something, right?
Yeah, I'm sure it was some kind of crazy. I'm sure some of it was scamming. Some of it was probably. Some of it was probably, I don't know, dealing with the law. Remember, they came back too. Like, they left and then they came back, and nobody wanted to touch them with a 10-foot pole.
Why
And
would
they
you?
came back. Yeah.
Well, and they had it set. Remember, in the was it Indigo or something like that automatically added the TVA in the background, and it was doing monitoring and
There's all
changing
kinds of
shit.
shit. They found so much stuff in their code, like that would literally monitor things that you would watch on your device, like in the background of the code, and some server somewhere was getting this information, and I was like, man, like.
It is so. It still amazes me to this day how people would like. Okay, do your thing, but how you can explode on here, like in a good way, bad way. If you're making money doing whatever, and then you could equally just as fast implode. But when people were imploding, as I said, then they it became the Rona of streaming. Yeah.
That's the
Then,
truth.
then when they sit there and they implode, they don't recognize it. They don't recognize they've done any bad or anything. And there's lots of groups. There is lots in our community that got labeled badly, like because their people didn't like them. There's so much out there. And when you're talking about groups and that, there is a lot of great groups out there. There is a lot of ones that
TV Addons wasn't one of them.
no, TV Addons was not. But but with the YouTube community, you there's a lot, and I don't know if they still do. And I'll be honest, I see Bo out here and stuff like that. And Bo, what's up with your boy, toilet dude or whatever, man? Whatever, brother.
No, Chunks is going in today.
I don't know, man. I just like nothing bad. Do your thing. Do your thing, man. Everybody, right from jump, everybody knows who is doing what. Besides Supreme Builds, meeting Rojas, NxTLvLTech, getting to really know these guys, and that the people, the group from DST, the originals in there from DST. When him and I butted head many times and stuff like that, Dell and stuff like that. But we're then, and those who are on my Facebook are outstanding people. Because I learned that they're people. Everybody seems to think that our personalities are who we are. They look at Kodi skills and then they look at the Juggernaut, but they don't see Brian. They don't see Lee. And what can I do for them? They, NxTLvLTech. They don't see. I don't know if people know his real name. And Rojas, well, he's just Captain Dimples.
Captain Dimples.
But it's those who stuck with us through and through to watch us and watch these channels and watch these, listen to the podcasts because again, that's evolution of the streaming and getting information and stuff like that. Those are the ones that really know how much that we've put into this, and when we got the last notification, like when you messaged me and said, do you want to carry on with the server? And I'm like, nope. And then I got a message from the bonehead who was always a pain in the ass with the servers and that.
Yeah.
He said, you looking to carry on? And I put in big capital letters, nope. And that was it.
So hold on. I think we're missing a chunk here. I want to know what happened between Lee handing it off to you and you saying no just now. Like, what made Lee hand it over to you, and then what made you say no at the point right now?
Well, I mean, I handed it over to Jugs just because I was done paying for anything. I said I've paid for long enough. I could have bought a freaking Porsche Taycan or something, but with the amount of money I paid for Supreme Build servers, but I was just kind of going, I taught everybody how to make these Gaia builds on my YouTube over and over again.
Now, just to show, because you also went by Kodi skills, right?
Yeah.
Right. Just to show everybody the real Kodi skills. What device did you code your first Kodi build on? I have to say it.
I created the entire build on the NVIDIA Shield, the very first one. I did not use Windows for anything. I created the build and exported it entirely on the Shield, which is why I was the Shield guy on YouTube.
Yeah.
And if anybody's done a build on your PC or building it putting it together, and imagine doing it easier. Imagine doing it on your Shield.
No,
it was pretty crazy. But I wanted to build it on Android and do it on the Shield and just say, you know what, nobody's done this. Why not? I'll just do it. Let me just do it. And then I did a couple of things on Windows at the end. Once I exported it off of there, just certain like editing XML files was easier over there, little things like that. But the 99.5% was of the first version of titanium was created on the shield. So
That's crazy.
I just figured, why not? I might as well. But yeah, I to continue the subject though, like I just got to the point where I was like, I taught everyone how to make a build with Gaia, and I told everyone, if you don't like Gaia, that's fine. Make the same exact thing, but pick your own add-on. I still showed you how to edit the skin, put in your sections, all that stuff. Like just one add-on, make a build, one skin, one add-on. It takes like 30 minutes tops. If even doing it on the shield, like it won't take long. Like if you're just doing one add-on, one skin, and then if you hear about another add-on, you already have your little build. You just make one new menu item, install another add-on, and there's your submenu. Done. And you can that's your own build, and it works forever. You don't need somebody else making it for you. That's what I try to teach people, And I said, you know what? I did this for about 2.5 years. I'm done. Like, if you haven't learned how to make your own build by now, I got no interest in continuing to pay all this money to make builds, anymore. So I told Jugs, you want titanium? You could take it if you want it. And he said, sure, I'll take it. And at the time, I think I had just renewed the server for like 2 years. I got like a deal where it was like buy a year and get the next year like half off or something. So it was just the repo server and the wizard server that we were using. It was like an $800 a year server. So I think I paid like $1,200 or something. I had just finished paying it, and it was like maybe a month or two later. I was just like, you know what? I don't want to do this anymore. Jugs, I got plenty of time on this server. Take it over if you want it. And he took it over and he did what he did with it. And I guess I'll let him go from there because that's where I dropped out pretty much.
Was that 2 years ago?
Yeah, about 2 years ago.
Yep.
So the same 2 years that you renewed is just ending now, and that's how we get to Jug saying no?
Yep.
Yeah, it's I think it was the end of July. July 22nd or July 25th was the last time that if I wanted to do a backup on the database of everything that I have on there. And stored on there was the base code besides in my PC that's sitting here that I just think is for Juggernaut, for the any forks that were done on the repo, the titanium based Kodi, everything in there, and I didn't back it up. I let it go. And believe me, you think about a digital community or you think like that, it was a hard thing. It's a hard thing to sit here and say we're done because some of that recently with the close deaths, and I almost died in the mountains just recently. I look at things way differently, just way differently in the last year, and it started to think about it, and then really changed my life and my mindset. Is that I was holding on to that just to seek. I want to be part of the community. I want to be the juggernaut that gets in there, either stirs shit or is part of shit or creates something. And I want to help as much people as I can, which is not a bad thing. But I mean, I want to dedicate so much time to it. I want to do this. And I found that I was spending so much damn time behind the computer in my YouTube room, as I called it, that life was passing me by.
Yeah.
I bought a Harley. I'm a biker. Everybody knows I'm a biker. I ride with a club. I'm a full patch member of a club. I'm never ashamed of it and stuff like that. But I wasn't doing things that I should be, getting out there and hanging out and living life with my wife and kids and stuff like that. Then, my kids went through some terrible things, and my life changed and stuff like that. And I'm thinking, man, I'm stuck behind this damn computer. I'm not making money from it. And I've always said I've always been kind of cryptic and things like that when we talk about, because we can't use the TV, things like, yeah, exactly like that. But just doing this, just doing this offline, I could make a living off of it. So I pulled myself away and I decided I'm not going to renew Juggernaut. I didn't do Juggernaut to 19 because I thought I don't want to learn anything new.
Yeah, because you had to learn Python 3 or something like that.
Yeah, and I didn't want to. Yeah, because I knew nothing. I sat down, man. Lee and I going back and forth. He got me involved in some groups that had some heavy hitters in our community that to this day that are still there but aren't there. They're ghosts, but they are those who create so much stuff that us people like me that I was never a coder. I always said that I don't write code. I can manipulate code. Yeah. I've always been able to take parts and pieces and make it work and combine it together where people are like, how'd you do that? That's been my niche. I could never code, but I've learned so much from these guys and things like that. And I just didn't want to anymore. People are, you going to do for 19? Nope. I have not updated Juggernaut in almost 2 years. And I still get messages. Yeah. My even my Gaia or my Exodus or something else was down for a little bit, but it's back up and stuff like. Good job. What?
Here's the dono.
Here's the dono.
When the server went down for like the final time, when it actually went down and the wizard died and everything, I got a whole bunch of messages from people going, my titanium's not working. And that people that I have not spoken to in years. And I'm like, I don't know anything about that. Like I haven't touched titanium in like 2.5 years, so I don't know anything about it. Not my problem. Sorry.
Well, it is like it just think about it. Like Rojas, you had your build and like that, and you've evolved with this community and your streaming and stuff like that. But imagine, and I don't know if you still do, but imagine we all can is just getting bombarded about something that you haven't done anything with. But because it resonates in people for so long and it was such an impact in our community that they still message you. Titanium, a Juggernaut, I love Juggernaut. Juggernaut did its job. People loved the Juggernaut, but it is nowhere near as powerful as a icon as Titanium is. Mm-hmm. And I'm not going to say is. Mm. So...
The funny thing to me, aside from like we talked about the box sellers or whatever, and they don't want to pay or whatever, and I always used to think in my head something like so simple, like I never want to charge end users for anything. That was never like, I always thought that would be wrong, like to charge an end user, because Kodi was like this free platform and you're trying to get stuff for free or whatever. But I used to think to myself, like at one point I forget however many thousands of people in the Facebook group. I'm like, if all these people just sent me $1 a month to my PayPal, I could make money and be here giving them what they want, and I could live a good life if every single person here sent me $1, just one. And but it'll never happen. Like nobody will do that. Like you'll just go broke before that ever happens. Like in my mind, it used to boggle my brain because I'm like, people ask for so much of my time, and for me to do so much. But $1 a month is like an impossible thing to do. Like. And there were some people that were very, generous. People that, became, on my channel. Sometimes, and I hated doing it, but like occasionally when the server bills were ridiculous, I used to have to make a post in the group and say, if anybody can help me out, like I'm trying to get this back on, but I got to pay bills in my house too, like, and I've already, spent this much, and those months I might get $300 or $400. People would donate, and I'd get it back on. But I would never have to make a post like that. I would never have to worry about how I'm gonna feed my family. I could give everybody for $1 a month, just for the people that were in the group. That's all it would have took, and everybody would have been happy. And I could have been in front of the computer as long as they wanted me to. Right. I would have had enough money to do that for $1. I used to think about that in my head, but I'm like, it doesn't work that way for whatever reason.
Well, a lot of people never fully realized is that when you're here on streaming, when I had my channel, you do a video here, you do videos there. If you want to really, jump right in it, then you can do videos every day, and they take time. You do editing or you do lives and stuff. But that's when you start getting serious. But when we were doing Kodi, it became so much that we were doing so much behind the scenes in Kodi, so many private messages, so many chats on when we were in our on the Facebook page and stuff like that. It was taking so much time. In a second. It was taking so much time for nothing, to get nothing back. Yeah. You know the funny thing is, I see some people. I see some guys who sit there and they spend time spending money on OnlyFans, but they got big old saggy titties themselves. Like, motherfucker, you're paying for the wrong boobs. I'm telling you that much. But
I'm still here. 1 second.
Sure.
But that's-
just to answer your thing, Jugs, you were saying about what I experienced. So with the simple build, because I just had that simple build for the longest, and then I don't know if you remember, but I started to make like a couple others, like a couple just different ones, because people.
You guys owe me
wanted-
$2.
Yeah, I know. I see that Flick Chick. Thanks, Flick Chick. There you go. So when I switched my channel from Kodi tutorials to Rojas, I would say I probably lost like 10,000 subscribers right off the bat, like quick.
Yep.
And people were like saying like, "F you, why are you switching your content to something else?" They were pissed. And I'm just
people
like,
don't understand. Like, I did the same thing too when I went to Lead Talks Tech. People don't understand. Like, you have to.
you have to. You have to. And it wasn't like I gave up. You know what? I didn't even give up on the builds. I just changed the channel to do like, hey, let's do streaming devices. Let me show you how to like make your device work easier and better for you. And people were like, "Fuck you." I'm like, okay. Like, dude, really?
Well, then they never understood the restrictions. I remember when you changed because you had Kodi in your name, you wanted to change. And if I remember correctly, you'll have to correct me on that one. Is you were going along and you were, I don't know, you had like what were you close to 100,000?
130.
I was 130. Yeah.
And then your channel got tossed.
Yeah.
YouTube-
And I completely did a rebrand. It was a rebrand. No,
It was after his
I wasn't
rebrand,
even
they
doing
tossed him.
streaming. Yeah, like nothing. I wasn't doing Kodi for like 2 years already. Nothing with IPTV stuff. Like it was just, and they completely shut it down. And the reason, I actually had a conversation with these guys. They said because I had strikes and I had old videos, even though they were deleted, associated to the channel.
Really?
That deleted, that the channel was already flagged, and older videos that even have some sort of relation will get deleted. I started a brand new channel called Rojas Streaming Tech, and I did it right before we did our podcast thing here, and I kept everything like straight and narrow. Like, let's talk about Firestick, how to do that. Let's talk about Disney Plus, like just everything very to the book. And nothing on that, like absolutely no issues, no nothing. That channel's already past 10,000 subs already. And I'm just like, I did a new Rojas reviews channel, the Rojas Tech stuff. And same thing, I'm doing like, I do very, very minimal streaming, but I do a lot of like random tech stuff. No issues whatsoever at all, nothing. And I'm just like, wow, this is insane. I did have a backup channel. Not too many people know this. I did have a backup Kodi tutorials channel. And that one was my vlog. Every now and then I'd be like, oh, look, how to jailbreak your Fire Stick. Remember that? How to jailbreak this, how to jailbreak that. Oh, here's a Kodi box. Remember those two? Kodi boxes? Oh, yeah. And people will go crazy watching those videos. So I deleted those videos completely. I deleted anything that has to do with like streaming stuff, which was very, very minimal. And everything that was left was about travel. So I rebranded Rojas Travels. Nothing remote to anything that channel would even get strikes or nothing on. And so far, they've let me continue doing what I'm doing.
Well, what I see from some things, and then when I click on some alerts that I get, because I keep forgetting I'm subscribed to a bunch of meatheads on some things, and I'll get a video, and I'll be like, how can they still be talking about this shit and stuff like that? And then I think my conspiracy mind kicks in, and it's like, oh well, YouTube is giving people just enough rope to hang themselves again.
Yeah.
And I got tired of that.
Or the powers that be are saying, let these guys keep talking so we can figure out where this shit is, you
Yeah.
know. And that's what I think is going on, you know. So all
I've been
these
telling
guys that
people
still
to
go around
get
and
off of
talk about
YouTube for
shit
a
on
long time.
YouTube, it's like, you know, somebody saying, let this channel go, don't flag this channel, I need links, I need to get to somewhere where I can subscribe to something or order something so we can get inside this thing and start shutting it down. And
Yep.
you know, that's more likely what I think is
Baiting.
actually happening when those people are still allowed to do those things for a while. There are
Yeah.
some channels that I've seen where it's like IPTV after IPTV review after IPTV, and I'm just like, these guys are here, they're not getting shut down. Like, there's literal channels just dedicated to this. There's no way that, and they have 50,000, 60,000 subs, and I'm like, there's no way that these channels are not getting flagged unless somebody's saying don't flag this channel, because they're
100%.
bringing us so many different services in one spot that we can just nab all these things and start proceedings against all of them from this one idiot who's out here, you know, promoting all this stuff.
Well, and we always used to dance around on eggshells and stuff like that because we didn't want the drama between YouTube communities and stuff like that, and creators and things like that, and some of these other groups that were out there would have somebody in their midst that you know, they're doing things like that, and even the people in their group are like, you know, you got to be careful because you're painting targets on these other channels and these other services. And when we're out here to promote education of any sort, which in our realm at the time included watching content. So, okay, watching content, however you're going to get it, whether it's going to be Kodi, it's going to be using services like Realderbrid, Alderbrid, or that other one or whatever. What's it called? Premiumize, yeah, like great services, cheap, things like that. You know, and the one-click apps now that have things on there. I just like, I'd said that to you, Lee, in the thing, and it's going to be cryptic on here. I wish that one that you, you know, showed me about and stuff like that would add the ability for an X login, and it would be unstoppable.
Yeah,
But then you have those out there. Listen, number one in reviews, and they're getting paid to do reviews. Like, okay, somebody pays me, whatever it is. It could be $20, it could be $200. All right, so I'm going to pay somebody to put a target on my back. Thanks, bro.
That's basically what they're doing. They're paying someone to put a target on their back.
And then, you know, and go ahead.
I was just saying, I try to educate people. So while we're on here, you know, I try to tell people all the time, if you go to a website or you go to a YouTube channel and somebody is giving you a sign up link to IPTV or any kind of, you know, whatever, it could be a VOD server, whatever it is, something that you got to pay for, and you know, like, that's a gray area type service, don't do it, because you're giving your money to someone that's out there, you know,
In the open.
putting money, exposing what it is that they're talking about, whether it's theirs or not. If you're out there in public putting these links out, do you not think, I mean, you can just look at, like, I mean, I hate that website with a passion, but you could look at like Torrent Frink or whatever, and you just see the amount every day.
Every day.
People getting slapped with suits and things getting shut down and all, and why would you make yourself so much more known by, let's put this on YouTube and let's make a website. Let's do that. It's terrible. It's the worst idea ever at this time to do that. So don't, you know, just don't waste your money out there. You know, look for quiet people if you're doing those things, and just do it that way. You know, people that are just low key, under the radar, not, you know, doing anything ridiculous like back when it was the Wild Wild West in 2015 and 16. Those days are over, man. And there's people are still doing things like that. They're doing it wrong.
Well, then you look at Mighty Mouse there, that we were just talking about recently. He had a good point. He always had the one good point that I agreed with, and is that you have no clue who you're dealing with on any platform that is digital. Because you look at me, you look at me and stuff like this, and I come at face value and stuff like that, but you seriously don't have a clue. You don't have a clue that could be sitting behind me as my flak jacket with my badge on it. You have no clue. You just, what I want to tell you. Yeah, like exactly like what I want to tell you. You know what? Like that homie in a army in a Hellcat. You know what? The cat was cool and stuff like that, but when he started fucking screwing people, I I have to say I'm not. I used to bite my tongue when I was part of the community, and I wanted to earn money off of people, and I wanted to keep it delicate, and like ride the fine line and stuff like that. I can't stand that motherfucker for nothing. I don't care. You are a rat. I don't care. You started a whole bunch of shit, made a ton of money, not in jail, still doing the same thing you're doing. One way or another, you're working with the cops. I just don't care. I mute my mic because I'm going to go off. I'm telling you. I don't like you guys. I just don't like stupid people because I'm not the smartest.
Look, there's a lot of interesting things I've seen over the years. I've seen people who entertain those kind of things and not know anything of what they're doing and take all of their customer information and put it on panels. And if the panel goes down, all the information goes with it.
Yeah.
Like, I've seen some really crazy things. Like, if you were any which way getting involved in anything like this, you have to be very careful with whatever you're doing. You have to be.
And
So,
if you're
like-
gonna do it, do it. Don't latch on to somebody that's going to either one way or another when you piss him off, or he's going to cause you heat. Who was that fucking guy that
Oh my god. The name check
Nitro TV? Nitro TV. Who's that? Like,
Yeah. I
okay,
know.
well, the two guys aligned themselves, and the one guy got into a lot of trouble, made a ton of money. He did things and stuff like that, but then he was attached with, when him and his gay fat buddy used to fight all the time. Like I'm just doing shit to cause shit, guys. But
He's like, let me call him real quick.
yeah, but I mean, yeah. So yeah, the people are putting some of the names out there and stuff like that. But it is that people, they talk. And somebody already put it out there, like snitches get stitches, and the snitches end up in the ditches. It's people can't help themselves. I don't know what anyone is even talking about anymore. That is correct.
I'm gonna bring it back for a second, because although I didn't have my own build, I had a file link store which ran pretty much like a repo.
I
right?
love your file link.
Everyone did, and it got shut down.
Yeah, you had
many
like
of
the
times.
most crazy file link stuff.
So a lot of people didn't know, but a lot of the modified APKs I was doing myself. And that's why they were released first in my filing store. And I got shut down by so many different file hosting companies, just like you guys did. And at any given time, I would have 5 different places I was hosting the files in, right? And it all really came down to, if we had a little bit of support, we probably could have kept going the way that we did. And we don't ever want to be that person to be like, hey, you guys have to pay us $1 a month. You guys have to pay us 50 cents. We don't want to be those people. Like, we're part of the community. We seek the knowledge. We give the knowledge just like everybody else does, right? But the other problem is you can't come onto a public platform and continue to advertise this stuff, right? Like, where do you see, if people want to stay within streaming, what advice would you have? But before you answer that, Kodi is not dead.
No.
No, it's not that.
Kodi will never die.
No, because Kodi is brilliant. Kodi is a software that gives people nothing until they input things to get it. So that's why it will never die.
Right.
But they do make changes that make, like, look at Kodi 19, just as an example. Remember when it was 16, 17, 18, even 15, like, everyone swore they were a developer. And all these add-ons, this guy made this add-on in the community, and this guy made this add-on, and this. There were so many forks of add-ons, it was ridiculous. And everyone swore they created their own stuff. And as soon as Kodi 19 came, what happened?
Yep.
All of a sudden, nobody's a developer anymore because they don't know how to do shit, and they were lying.
Yep. Everybody quit.
I love that. I love that.
It was like, I was sitting here the whole time just going, these guys don't know how to do anything, and wait till Kodi 19 comes out, and boom, there's no more add-ons. Like there's very few, because people, if you knew the difference, you'd have to step up to Python 3. So if you don't know how to code, you got to code something from scratch now. You can't just edit code. Now you got to do it from scratch.
Mhm.
So if you can't do it, you can't do it. You know?
Yeah, I was dreading that update big time because okay, so for those of you guys who know, the symbol build never really went anywhere. But it's not that easy to get. And to do that change, I was like, do I need to do this work to, like, for what, you know? But I'll say this though, Kodi 19, and I'm not going to name anything out there or what's out there or who's doing what. Everybody can do their own research, but it reminds me a lot from way back in the Exodus days, way back in the Genesis days, where things worked really smooth.
Yeah, because it's all original code now. So
Yeah.
whatever add-ons are out there right now are somebody actually knew what they were doing and made that add-on. Because every time somebody else forked an add-on, they probably, you know, removed a little bit of code that made it work a little worse, or changed something and didn't realize what they were changing, and then you had problems. And
Well, a lot of people asked me, like, how do you feel about Kodi 19 and you know, going from 18 to 19, what's the difference? And I used that. I said, well, when you have add-ons that are working in 18, you're playing with a bunch of different colored Play-Doh and slapping it all together, and you're using it, making it work. You can, yep, exactly. When you're going to 19, you just made a fresh batch of Play-Doh, one color. If you can't make that batch, you can't do it. And I couldn't. I admitted it. I'm not a coder. I'm as somebody put it out there, the copy and paste era, but it's a little bit different when you're coding for Kodi. For add-ons, it's a lot of copy and paste because you're using those codes and you slip up and take something out. But it is. Kodi's not going anywhere.
20 is going to be another massive update from what I'm looking at.
What? There's the Kodi 20? What?
Well, it's never going to stop.
No, I know. Yeah,
It's never going to.
Like I said, I've done the one clicks. I haven't had cable television
And forever.
for 7 years now. You know, things like that. It's just that's. I'm glad Kodi's still out there, and I'm sad that we're out of it. But I'm also glad I'm out of it because I can't. There's no way to dedicate the time to learn to do that when we have lives. And
There's an
anybody with kids knows that, like, you can't dedicate a lot to it. You know, you just can't. And I didn't want to let anybody down or anything like that. So, you know, we let it retire and things like that, and it's okay.
It's okay.
I mean,
You can let it go.
like,
Just be ready. Just be ready for the next year, because if whoever knows what you were doing and how much you've been maintaining it, or even if it was just minimal, you're gonna get a spew of people saying, "What the f is going on? Fix this now." You know.
Yeah, and there's that's quite all right. I'd like to say that the Supreme Build family is still a family. We still have our core members, and we have our chats and things like that, which we don't, you know, we're not on there a lot and stuff like that. But I mean, we still do what we do.
I think it turned into, you know, like, we don't make Kodi stuff no more. We're not doing that, but like, doing what we did for the time that we did it, I think we created lifelong friendships with people.
For sure.
So,
Yeah.
you know, and so we'll still always talk, and, you know, we'll still, you know, we still love it. So we still keep an eye on things, and, you know, if a new add-on comes out in 19, we'll check it out. If, you know, a new app comes up, we'll check it out. But I'm not going to be out there ever, you know, going, oh, I want to make another build and spend thousands of dollars a month trying to stop people from downloading. Like, that's not going to happen again.
No.
You know, like, you know, but
And if you do, keep it super low pro, where it's like, hey, you, me, and that's it.
yeah, like, you know, maybe for my mom, here you go. Like,
Well, what is that saying or something? If you want to keep a secret between two people, like, the secret's only safe if you're dead, you know, type thing or something. I can't. Basically, there's no secret.
yeah,
We just do a murder plot.
for me, I you know, for me, I know, like, Jugs took on, you know, a whole new job and career and doing stuff. And I, you know, I did too. I still have my job that I had the whole time but I started my own business, and I'm about to start a second business. Like totally legit businesses, just working, and trying to do better for myself, family, all that kind of stuff.
Well, if anybody has not checked it out, you check out Lee's pictures, man. The pictures that you take, I show my wife all the time. I'm like, God damn, look at this. like you were the New York skyline, like when I think it was you're up and showing you're in a tower or you somewhere. Oh no,
that was the Toronto skyline.
That was in Toronto, man.
Dude, you came to Toronto. You didn't say what's up.
I did come to Toronto. I was just there in July. Is that where you are? Next level?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know where you were. Shit. But yeah, well, I'm going to be going back. I love Toronto. So
yeah.
Stop sending all the dick pics. Why?
Well, he takes them with a DSLR. You know what I'm saying?
I use a super telephoto.
Oh man.
I love Toronto. I'll be back. So next time I go back, I'll definitely say what's up.
Yeah, I'm either in Niagara Falls or I'm in the Toronto area.
That I went to Niagara Falls and then I went to Toronto. That's what I did.
That's where I'm at.
We will be, like my wife wants to go up to. She was in Niagara Falls a few years back, and I haven't been there, so we want to go there. She hasn't been all the way to the BC coast, so that's eventually when I go to retire. Because yes, I'm not old, folks. When I go to retire, it will be in BC, and yeah, life is life. I've learned a lot from this. I'm never going to say I didn't. I met a lot of good people. I learned how to invest through Next Level. I've learned how to deal with Kodi and bring smiles to people's faces with some graphics that I design and give them the ability to watch content, to be a good resource for things like that. And
you advertise anymore, I'm gonna have to throw you.
Yeah, but I mean, but no, I mean, it's without saying and stuff. Just learning all that stuff, it wouldn't have happened without Kodi. Pornhub.
It's true.
This chat's wild today.
Everyone's wild.
If it wasn't for Kodi and guys like Lee and Rojas and Next Level, all the way from Storm to Yo-Yo to everybody in our Supreme builds, even from Rick from Supreme back in the day.
Yeah, back in the day, yeah. I mean,
yeah, it's just like it's
I went a little crazy at the end, but yeah.
Yeah. I wouldn't. A lot of the stuff I wouldn't have if it wasn't for that. Sure, I generated income from things, especially the investments. Got to know some good people. Got some free things. I still do. I feel the fire to be on YouTube, but not to do anything with Kodi.
Well, you can't, even if you have a fire for that.
Yeah, I mean, I have no plans to leave YouTube. I'm not in the best position to be on it right now, but I will be back on it more regularly. But I definitely don't want to leave YouTube because I got a lot of stuff going on that's definitely YouTube friendly once I get the time and the equipment and the space to work with it. But yeah, I mean, I also want to make stuff that's gonna work with or without YouTube, because YouTube, you guys know, is an entire business in its own right.
Full time, 80 hours a week.
Yeah, I mean, it's a crazy business, and I know the ins and outs of that business from when I had the Supreme Builds channel, and
you have
I still have it, but I mean, I changed it to Lee Talks Tech the same way Rojas rebranded his. I lost 15,000 subs when I did that or something like that, but whatever.
It's like an instant
instant drop, but I created a second YouTube channel which detailed some of my travels, stuff like that, but I didn't really push too hard on that one because I just don't have the means or the time right now. Yeah. I'm totally invested in building other businesses for myself. I'm also invested in working right here, so sorry if you see me looking to the side, that's why. But, try to do a little something so I don't look like I'm completely missing.
You're good.
But yeah, I'm trying to make things where it's all right, eventually the plan is to just not work for somebody, at all.
100%.
And just say, I want a business that is location dependent and makes you financially secure, so I could make money while traveling. I could, like, those are the kind of things that go into my head and say, I'm getting older. I don't want to be this person that's, here I come when I get to 65, 66, 67. And I'm like, I can't retire. I can't, whatever, I want to be out as soon as I can, only working for myself, the hours that I set, and that's taken up most of my time now, is just let me figure out how to do that.
Well, I've been so happy because in my past it was living paycheck to paycheck, but man, I've evolved too. Now it's e-transfer to e-transfer. That's how I live.
Yeah, I mean, look,
Get my paycheck automatically deposited.
Wire to wire.
Yeah, I mean, it's something that, I feel like, just no matter what industry you're in, whatever you're doing, if you have a regular job right now, doing something, there is some way, shape, or form, if you look hard enough, where you can turn that into something you can do for yourself. You can take 100%. The skills you have and what you know and turn it into something for yourself, where you become your own boss. And it's not going to be easy. It's going to take a long time. I mean, I created my business back in 2019. That's kind of like when I stopped doing anything with Kodi. I said, that's what I'm going to start doing. And, from so now I'm 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022, it's 4 years basically, just about where I'm at, I think. So, and at that, I'm still not to a point where I could just quit my job. I'm not looking at get rich quick schemes. There's so many of those that people will try to tell you exist. Those are all bullshit. Like, it's work. It's dedication. It's putting the effort into doing something that you want to do. And I finally got my first business to a point where I'm like, okay, I have some time now. I'm making a bit of money with this. I can now open up another one and put that time into that and just keep, growing from there. And, second business complements the first in a way. They kind of, I can cut out steps where normally, okay, you'd have to hire a photographer, a videographer or something for things to do in my second business. I don't have to hire those people because I am those people. Mm-hmm. So, it just works like that. But it's a lot of time, a lot of effort. But I advise anybody out there to, even if you just turn it into a side hustle, man, like, you see what's going on in the world and things aren't getting any cheaper. So you're going to have to make some money somehow.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And just be consistent. That's why, like, the YouTube channels that excelled and stuff like that. I came into creating a YouTube channel a little bit late, and I never peaked with high numbers of subscribers and things like that, because I mostly enjoyed going on to other people's shows and videos and things like that, because I like that. I like being kind of the guy in the background, but being known as, yes, I'm helping in the foreground. But those who are into any type of business and you're wanting to explore or build it digitally, is consistency. Look at this broadcast. Look at this YouTube channel. Look at BS. You look at what you guys did. You just stayed consistent and keep going and going and going. You don't stop. You don't give up. Plain and simple, don't give up. And no matter what hustle you're doing, if anybody's out there making money off of the boxes or making whatever hustle you have, if you feel good about it and you can earn money from it, stay consistent and just keep going and make use of every media platform you can. Don't just stick to YouTube. Like you guys, you branched out to podcasts and things like that. A lot of people may or may not know, like, you don't just do YouTube. You got so much else going on, every little bit, every video that I see on TikTok or anything else like that, it talks about, like what Lee said, the quick get rich schemes. If you listen to it, everything that they say, they put the hook in your mouth saying, here, I can show you something that's for free or doesn't cost you to get started. But they always mention multiple streams and keep going.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just one thing.
To add on to everything that these guys said, whatever you're working on is always supposed to be the stepping stages to the next level of whatever is going to be coming in the future. Everything.
What you did there.
You see it, right? I got
He
you.
does that shit all the time.
All the time, right? So whatever you're working on today isn't always going to be there. So you have to be building for your future. If you are one of those box sellers, you ain't going to be selling boxes until you're 65. So what are you going to be doing when you're 65? You got to figure it out. You got to be figuring out what you're going to be doing tomorrow, the next year, whatever it is. You got to put it aside. You got to start businesses. I always challenge everybody. Try to figure out how to make $1. Just $1. You can laugh at it all you want. Then after you make $1, try to figure out how to make more. Right? And the most difficult things that I see is the people that are closest to you are the ones that keep you in the hood.
Yeah. That's the truth,
Understand that. People will go to somebody else, spend more money than what you offer, and come to you to fix it for free.
Mm-hmm.
If they really respect you, if they really appreciate you, they will be willing to pay more than what somebody else who doesn't know you would pay. Because we're building each other's dreams and we're getting our asses out of this hood.
Yeah, there's and anybody who's wanting to make money, do it digital like this, using platforms and things like that. Lee hit the nail on the head when, set yourself a long-term goal, but attain the short terms. As the long term is you want to be able to be earning money while you're doing something you wanted to do while you were working. You know what I mean? Oh, geez, I'm working this 9 to 5 so I can go on vacation to Mexico. Well, I want to get to the point that I'm sitting in Mexico and all the ventures that I got going are automatically generating revenue while I'm not even looking at it. But it's not going to happen overnight.
Yeah, I mean, it really doesn't. And anybody that thinks it does or tells you it does, is, you might get super lucky, like in the e-commerce space or something, and you make your first product or something, and it happens to be a big hit. But that's,
For how long?
Yeah, for how long, and that's the thing. Like, and somebody that's done that and maybe got that lucky will suddenly come on YouTube and tell you, you can do this too. And it's like, yeah, you can, but it's not going to happen the way it happened for you, because you just had that one lucky product that might have sold amazing for a year. You might have been the inventor of the fucking fidget spinner or something, like, and it was a TikTok sensation. But nobody cares about fidget spinners anymore, and now you really have to put the work in to come up with a real product.
Yeah.
So don't let anybody tell you that like one product that you make or one investment only is gonna. You got to diversify. The money needs to go in different places. If you're investing, if you're creating things, you need to build a brand. And that brand takes time to build. People need to know that your brand is trustworthy. People need to know, that you have good products. Whatever it is you're doing, it takes time. Nobody's, gonna just go, oh, that's a nice looking box, I'm just gonna buy this because the box is nice. Like, that might work for a few people and it might get you, a few sales, but it doesn't make your brand like reputable because you made a nice box. It's like, well, what's in the box? They got to use it. It's got to be good. So it's something that takes time and effort. Really, you got to stay on top of things, and there's so much to it. Whatever you're doing, there's a lot of facets to it. You just got to learn them all. I'll explain this quickly, but like, even in the photography realm or whatever, like, I love photography. I love doing it, but there's a whole business side to photography. I know it. I know how to do it, but I don't like it. It's not my passion. I love creatively creating images and editing them or making composites, things like that. That's what I love doing. But I have to know the business side. Otherwise, it doesn't make me any money. Mm-hmm. So you got to spend just as much time doing something that you don't care about as something that you do, in order to make sure that whatever you're doing is working for you. So look at all facets.
And you got to find your niche, because no matter what anybody thinks, nobody listening or who's going to watch us later or who's on this panel or in the chat, no matter what you are doing in this realm, you're not the only one, and you're never going to be the only one. There is room for everybody. It is.
But I will say this. There's one thing about what Jugs just said. What he said is absolutely correct. You'll never be the only one doing something. But you don't have to be that much better, because most of the people doing something, no matter what it is, are doing it half-assed in the first place. Yep. And if you're just 10% better than those people, you'll make some money. you don't have to be 120%, all the time. You just gotta be at least 10% better than most. And if you can be 20% better and 30% better, even better for you. But you get as much out of it as you put in. But there's opportunity even in saturated spaces. It's just you gotta say how much effort are others putting in, and and take it from there. If you can put a little bit more effort, learn a little bit more, make your craft, learn it just a little better than those other guys. Think of one extra thing that nobody's doing, then you'll make some money. And and it puts you in a mindset to keep thinking like that, because time goes on and things evolve, and you're going to need that next idea and that next thing to keep yourself relevant.
The only competition you have is yourself.
100%.
Period.
That's true.
Period.
I mean, you got to pay attention to what other people are doing to some extent, but you truly are your own competition.
Yep, and that's everything in life. That's from every goal that you want. I want to get physically fit. I want to get healthy. I want to get muscles. I want to get shredded. I want to diet. I want to run faster. I want to win a race. I want to kick Rojas's ass in a Spartan race.
Hey, let's go anytime.
I was about to say I don't want to do any of those things, but then you said kick Rojas's ass, and I was like, oh, okay.
But it's true. You look at it, and the biggest thing that you can learn, that I feel that I've learned from everything, and again, I base it all on all the people I met, because when we started, all from Kodi, is that, again, you're the only person who can be your own downfall. You are the only person that should start to build yourself, to promote yourself, and you always have the ability to move ahead on there in anything that you do, but you also have to keep a mindset to watch what other people are doing, because you could also learn from them. Don't consider everybody competition. Look at them like, geez, man, you look at next level. He's wearing that hat. Get buzz. Okay, so he's promoting that. All right, like he did some of the things you just told me before the show. Like amaze me and things. I can never do that. Oh, sure, I can. You just have to do it. You just have to do it. And if you fail, fuck it. Do it again.
It's crazy. This year I realized something. When I was in my early 20s, I told myself that I wasn't smart enough to do two things. One of them was stocks. By accident, I've taught myself how to do that. The second thing was Android boxes.
And on purpose, you taught yourself how to do that.
I didn't mean to. It was another accident. It was just something that happened. But that's just a prime example that you can tell yourself you're not smart enough, but if you put yourself in a position to be, you will be.
Psycholand 420, when did this become a motivational channel? It always has been, because it shows you what you can do.
That's right. But no, so somebody asked before where they could see my stuff or whatever. Like, the simplest way to start to find me is just Instagram. If you have it, go to Lee Aaron Media. That's my
OnlyFans.
All one word.
That's OnlyFans.
LEARON Media, MEDIA.
Lee just talks and OnlyFans.
Yeah.
Here, put it in the chat. Actually, here.
I can't. I can't type in the chat.
Send it to me in Telegram. I'll put it in the chat.
So, all right.
We've talked about you doing IP limits on people hitting your repos. Yeah. I've put pin numbers on my file link store to deter people away from all the traffic. But what other things could you give a suggestion for people that are looking to support, I guess, people doing things behind the scenes longer? Is there anything else, or is it only financial really to kind of keep things going the way they go?
I mean, I don't think there's much that can be said, because if you start saying all of those things, then, the wrong people hear those things, and then they start looking in other places and do it, So yeah. It's something you can't really, I would just say the only thing that I would recommend to anybody, would just be whatever you do, if you're in this realm and you're doing that kind of stuff, keep it as low key as possible and don't make it public in any way, shape, or form, because there's just way too much scrutiny on those kind of things these days. You know, that's really all I would say, because you know, the minute you start explaining publicly like what other people may or may not be doing, then the wrong people see it, and your private things that you may be doing are no longer private, and suddenly people are looking at you in the wrong way. You know, so because it's just
that's
scrutinized nowadays.
And then that's the hard part that anybody who learns with the evolution, because we've all said it, that Kodi's not going to be going anywhere. We've had our reasons for stopping. It's been a blast and been fun, but we're not away from the community. We're always watching. We're always seeing things. It's just we're not, we're not the forerunners anymore for the last couple years. In our community, there was always room for the different builds, but when you had a build, and we watched the gigs of downloads a minute, knowing that this is because of people who are loading up boxes or loading up devices or getting to know it the first time or the 100th time or the 100,000th time, things like that. And it's like, yeah, we did this. Titanium built off of a shield the first time, evolved into, for lack of a better term, a juggernaut of a build, and then Juggernaut. See, Juggernaut came about for fun. I said I should do my build, and Lee said you should do your build. I'm like, I don't know what to call it. Juggernaut.
See, we were always motivational. I motivated you to make a build.
Yep, and we went from there, and it's just like Kodi. What I would hope people do is they actually educate themselves. Like, sure, it's a fun time. We're sitting there watching and kind of get edgy with trying to stir shit up or turn motivational or talk about, services or talk about things that we did. But learn about Kodi. If you are in this realm, as we're calling it, learn about Kodi. I don't know if a lot of people know, and if that, example is Plex. One of the original from Kodi wanted to create a version to be used on iOS that was not going to be free, that they were going to charge for it. Ta-da! Plex. That's where Plex came from. Plex, which a lot of people use. Plex, which a lot of people promote. Plex channels, Plex videos, Plex. Came from Kodi, folks.
It did. Fantastic application.
Yep.
Even without their actual media sharing stuff, it's got a lot of free content in there. Ad supported, of course. Great application.
Yeah, and you see, and then you get Kodi. Kodi generated for the nonprofit, like a nonprofit organization, creating Kodi to be on the Xbox, because it was the Xbox Foundation,
XBMC. Yeah.
XBMC, then Kodi. And look where we are. I guarantee you, everybody out there, looking or watching and stuff is watching something on Kodi free. Watching, sharing content to family, sharing your videos, just doing everything and anything you can with Kodi, besides making it look cool with a paint job of Titanium and Juggernaut and any other build out there. Kodi. Yeah, Kodi put my mind. Storm me too. What's this? What are we doing?
This is said to see Lee's private pics. Join here.
Here's Lee's Instagram channel for all you photographers or non-photographers, or anybody just wants to see some cool pictures. That's the link. Or if the link for whatever reason is not working, or if you're listening and not watching the show, it is Lee, Lee, Aaron, Aaron Media, all one word. Lee Aaron Media. We'll put it in the description after the show's over too, so you guys could find it. So.
And you want to see some beautiful pictures, folks? I look at his all the time. I tell you right now, brother, if you turn some of those pictures into NFT and stuff, I'd buy them. Like, God damn, you got some beautiful pictures.
Thank you.
Like,
if you do go to my thing, you can also click from there to my website. because I only pretty much put up like, landscapes, cityscapes, things like that on the Instagram. But I do everything: portraits, street photography. Like more of that stuff is on the website. I don't update the website as much, but there's a whole bunch of stuff up there. Like there's all different genres in there on the website. I gotta update the website again pretty soon because I haven't added anything for my Canada trip, so I gotta put that in. And I've done a few more jobs for people for, because like locally I do a lot of portrait jobs, graduations, things like that, baby showers, birthdays, things like that. So I haven't put up a lot of new stuff on the website, but I'll add it soon.
Serge wants to know what camera do you use?
Sony A1.
I know Serge is a Sony guy also. He's been trying to get me to switch my equipment over because I'm been doing a lot of travel stuff too. I'm probably gonna be bugging you now that I know that you do picture stuff. So
yeah, man, hit me up.
Yeah,
it's and the stuff you posted too, Rojas. When you're going like, I like that one. What's this guy behind me doing?
Oh, you saw that?
Yeah,
you saw that, dude. I was like, and it was funny too because I was just like, okay, I'm like, I need to put a. So if you noticed on my Instagram is I normally put a picture of myself in the environment, and then the next picture is usually just the environment by itself, and because it's weird. I've actually been getting people like saying like, hey, can I buy this picture from you, like to use it on a magazine or use it on something, and I'm just like, really? Whatever, okay, I guess. I'm like, it's not great, but then they'll ask me if I could do a little bit of editing stuff, and that's why I need to talk to Lee about it, how he does certain things. But yeah, I was actually I think I told you guys I was going to jury duty this morning, and I was sitting there looking at pictures, and I saw that picture. I'm like, what the hell is that guy in the ocean wearing? We're in the ocean. He's wearing like headphones. Like it looked like not a wetsuit, but a jacket of some sort. And he was holding something. I'm like, what the hell is he doing? So I was like,
and he takes a picture and the caption, what's this guy behind me doing?
Yeah.
And you're zooming in. What the hell is he doing?
Yeah, that's the random shit that I run into.
So for those who are out there in the chat, how many of you can respond to that are still using Kodi? Because I do see a lot of people like, well, Kodi's not going to die, stuff like that. Absolutely, I don't think it's going to go anywhere anytime soon.
Plus one in the chat.
Yeah, but I want to see about us that like we're the ones who like just stop doing Kodi. They just. I
don't think I ever stopped. I know there like like what was the big one, the big APK that came out, Terrarium. Actually, I don't know if you guys know this, but everything that NxTLvL was doing in the beginning with the whole file linked and all that stuff, I hated all that crap. I hated it, and it's funny because NxTLvL didn't even want to talk to me because of how much I hated it. Every time I got a chance of talking shit about like all these stupid APKs, once it's done, you're done. Like it's not like you could replace whatever you're using. You have to just completely delete it and download something completely brand new and then learn that brand new interface. And I'm like, Kodi's so much better. And I like I just went on all these rants. I even made a joke about it at one point that I made a website, and I put a bunch of APKs on there, and I'm like, look, you guys want one click download, just come to my website, click the link. You don't have to go to no file link or go to no codes or go to no pins, or just go to the site, click and download it and get the hell out of here. And then when NxTLvL finally, him and me, like I forgot where we talked. It might have been, was it on my show or I forget where me and NxTLvL started to talk, but then we started to like share ideas and stuff, and then somehow he still put up some somehow.
See, because of Kodi.
Because of Kodi, damn it.
I mean,
Yeah,
I
look,
guess.
I think Kodi's a great piece of software.
Yeah.
I honestly don't use it right now because Gaia is my add-on, so it's in beta now for 19. Because that's a really like huge add-on. So like, I'm waiting. I'll install it on 19 and use it then. But they do have APKs now that, I'm not going to name names of the APKs or anything, but they do have APKs now that also function in the way that Kodi does, where you don't get anything until you put in your information, so they're not going to get taken down like all these other APKs.
Yep.
And those are pretty awesome. Like, I like the idea behind all that stuff. They're a little cumbersome still because they're new, but I think that's definitely going to be a big thing in the future, which is awesome. Like, it's simpler. You don't have to create builds. You don't have to do this or that, and you're putting in the info. So nobody's going to come to them and say, you create something that gives people access to, stolen content. No, I don't. It's just software. What other people choose to do with it is on them.
Right.
Yeah, and you've seen, like, Rojas, you're on my Facebook, so like I told you the one that I still use, and then I'm getting into the other one and stuff like that. But those, anything that anybody chooses to use, if you really get into it and learn to stay up to date on it, and you choose to use ones that automatically do things, or just like Lee was talking, ones that are totally 100%. Not in the gray side, they are where it won't function until you, the user, do things with it. Then it's powerful. I haven't had cable television. Like, sometimes I hear guys talking at work and it's like, Jesus, my bill went up again, and I'm like, what? Of course, what do you pay a month? Oh, I got 3 TVs, so it's like $300 a month. Say what? Yeah.
I'm guilty. I still have cable TV.
You never canceled yours.
I never canceled mine because it's so cheap. I have a lifetime deal. I'm just like,
that's right. You're one of those guys.
Well,
I've been out of contract with Fios for like 4 years already, and I refuse because I pay I think it's about $60 a month, and I have every pay channel and everything for $60 a month. I have HBO, Showtime, Cinemax, plus all the other channels for $60. And I'm like, for that, I'll keep it, because now I can install HBO Max. I can install, all these, Showtime on my boxes. And I don't even watch the cable, but I have all the apps, and I can just sign right into them because I have it. So I'm like, I'll keep it for that price. And it's in my house, so, my sister share. Like, we literally pay like $30 a month each to have it, and we just share it because it's all in the same house. So I'm like, for that price, we'll keep it.
Well, there's a lot of people who still do that, like on our devices and stuff like that. We still have like the Netflix and things like that. And I'll always recommend to people, I'll educate them if they want something that is maintenance free. You're maintenance free. You just watch it, things like that. But if you want things that are going to be extremely reliable, then you pay for it. Right. Like you pay to the Netflix, you pay to the Hulu, you pay to the Crave.
Well, here's the thing too: is like, if you have T-Mobile, you can get Netflix for next to nothing. And
there's a lot of deals like that right now. I'm seeing them coming out in Canada now. Finally.
Yeah.
I saw some deals for like free Hulu too. There's deals to get Hulu for
Verizon.
Free. I think Verizon does it.
Hulu, Disney, and ESPN free.
There's a deal right now for 3 months of free Apple TV, and people are sleeping on Apple TV. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I mean, it's like there's ways to get it. Like, I always had Netflix because I always had T-Mobile, so it was, for a long time I didn't pay anything for my Netflix, and now I got to pay a little bit because Netflix keeps raising the price. But for me, like, I think I pay $4 a month now for Netflix. At $4 a month, it's worth it to me. I'll keep it for $4.
For real.
Like, why not?
They just announced today that they're raising the prices for Disney Plus and that whole bundle, and I still think that there's value in there.
Yeah, there is. Like, and don't get me wrong, when I'm using the one-clicks, the reason I do like that for myself, and my wife watches other things, when I have the one-clicks, just one click, do the search. Hey, look, there's a purple link. Okay. I can watch on those. The benefit for me is I have every platform on there, but you're always running the risk of reliability, quality, things like that. So, and
that's the thing too, is like, okay, even though I have these things and I have the apps, I know that whatever's on those apps is going to be reliable because I have them and they're the legitimate apps. But I want to watch things that aren't on those apps. Like, HBO only has but so many movies, and Showtime only has but so many movies. So if I, I always have my reel to Brit and my, everything's still going, and it's always so I can watch everything. But it's like, I don't know. I mean, it's the way it's going now is like everybody's got a freaking streaming service, so they realize nobody's subscribing to cable anymore. Let's make a streaming service because streaming is the future. But what they really don't understand is like free streaming is the future. Like nobody.
Well, they're starting to. They're starting to because there's a lot more ad-supported free streaming platforms that are coming out now.
Yeah,
I remember when we used to sit in the background and talk about that. That if we all had money and we wanted to start someone, that we would have tier-based, either a la carte or free services, and what they pay for is to eliminate ads, just like they do, like with like Cyrus packages or things like that. Sure, you can get it for this base amount, and you are going to get some ads, or you pay this amount and you're going to get less ads. Things like that, because how they offset the costs or the revenue generated by the ads would be the people who are paying for it. Free,
Yeah.
like up here, like we have some that have a la carte streaming.
Yeah, and that's one thing that I think the end user base has to get used to, because I mean, I remember with what was the one that was out for a long time after Terrarium, Cinema, right? So people would hound me, where can I find the ad-free version? And I'm like, you guys don't understand. This guy's updating this thing that runs it. He's making a little money off the ads. And if you got 30 seconds after a movie or after a TV show with some little nonsense ad that pops up, that's way better than what you used to have on TV. You used to have 3-minute breaks every 10 minutes on a TV show. But people were complaining so much about that. And I'm like, you guys got to understand something. If you want something that you don't pay for from a legitimate company like Hulu or whatever, eventually they're going to start making things that only have ads, and it's free to you because they're going to have no choice. But you have to accept the ads. That's the only way it's free. You're not going to be able to get hacked versions of Hulu if they ever make it free. It's not going to work like that.
Fuck them. I just waited for it to go into next level's file link. Fuck them. remember Fork TV?
Fork off.
Fork off.
These people got to make money somehow.
What the fork?
Let an ad play. The way ad-free Hulu annoys me too. But it's so cheap ad-free, I'll take the annoyance. It's fine. If it's something I really want to watch that I can't easily watch somewhere else, it's fine by me.
Well, and those who are using link down, no, it's still there. And for anybody ever listening or things like that, like we always talk about things in our lives, how we be thankful for music in the past that helped create the new music and everything like that. So you also look at Kodi. If it wasn't for Kodi, we wouldn't have the one-click apps.
Yeah,
because you have somebody sitting there going, geez, I got these add-ons, but what if I could take all that information from the same servers and put it on a single interface?
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, and
you got providers and everything like that. And click, you got starts with a C and has an H and a D in it.
I think at the end of the day, what's going to happen is, I laugh because all these companies spend so much money, like trying to shut down add-ons, trying to shut down APKs, trying to shut down all this stuff. And it's like, you guys are spending millions of dollars to shut this stuff down, but you're not getting any subscribers. Nobody cares. Nobody's paying the prices that you're charging for cable, for whatever it is you want to charge. Why don't you just make a whole new model where you get paid for ads, and then the people that are super annoyed by ads can pay if they want to. And if not, all these ads, I mean, that's how it was. You used to watch Mike Tyson. There was no pay-per-view. Mike Tyson was on ABC.
Yep.
And all that money was generated by ads, and Mike Tyson made millions of dollars. It's not, I mean, Don King stole it all, but, he still got paid those millions of dollars. You know what I'm saying? Those revenues were generated by ads. You don't need pay-per-views. You don't need, tons of, forcing people to buy a package of 150 channels that they only want to watch 6 of. It doesn't make any sense. Just stop spending the money all these millions of dollars lobbying Congress and millions of dollars paying for lawyers to go to court. Stop doing all that, and you wasting all that money. Just offer your shit for less money instead of spending all that money doing that. Obviously, you have the money because you're giving it to politicians. You're using it in court, so just make cheaper prices. Start getting ad revenue. Start figuring out the new world and how it's working. You know, that's what it is. You know, you just got to figure out how to navigate as things change. The same thing, same advice we're giving you if you're making your own business. These giant companies need to figure out how to take it too.
Well, do you remember when there was such a big panic, and it's and the complete streaming community across that we all know of is when the court was deciding on net neutrality.
Yeah.
And when that was passed, everybody was like, oh my God, it's the end of everything. And anybody who had anything to do in the community kept saying, just watch. There'll always be things in the works. There's always going to be ways that you can continue doing this. You can continue to support, you do things or whatever. And it happened so fast, some people panicked, but look where we are now. For me, because we have net neutrality, we didn't have it up here and in Canada, and it changed for us. And because now we got ISPs doing throttling on
blocks.
Yep.
Yeah.
But I mean, with 2 clicks, literally 2 clicks. And if anybody wonders what I talk about, rewind the tape, and right at the beginning, you'll learn real quick what I'm talking about. 2 clicks, and you're doing whatever the hell you want. You know, like there's nothing's ever going to stop any of the stuff we do. That's why it's just, you know, that's why I keep stressing. Thank you for the Kodi and the community and stuff like that, and we've learned so much from it, and that. And I get people, I'm getting messages like, what? Like, I'm never going to have, like, you're gone. We can't have that. No. Kodi and that are different. Get a grip, you dumb fuck.
Wow. So
there's an advertisement.
We've been streaming for almost 2 hours, and I know it doesn't feel like that.
Oh, shit.
But I have one last question for the whole panel. We've seen APKs come and go. We've seen Kodi builds and Kodi add-ons come and go. And now we're almost going through the golden era of retirements. We've seen a lot of, iconic and legendary people that were staples in the community hang up their capes. And Supreme Builds is doing that now. So where is the streaming community going? Where's the cord cutting community going from here?
I was watching and watching.
Amazing.
I was just waiting.
Like, I don't know. I'll go first. I guess I'll since we were politely waiting for the other one to go. I think, at the end of the day, there's always going to be something. You can still go online and you can still Google what add-on is good. You can still, and that's never going to stop. No one's going to make that go away, and no one's going to shut Kodi down. And there's APKs that come out all the time, and you can look those up. Google is your friend. Like, you don't need us to make a whole YouTube video to say, check out this new APK. Google has it all there, and we have, different channels and stuff like on Telegram or whatever, where people can ask questions. Over there, I don't mind DMing someone and going, hey, this is a pretty cool APK. Check it out. I don't mind doing that. I'm just not going to go on YouTube and blow all these things up so that it gets the attention of people that it shouldn't get the attention of. And like I said, these APKs are getting much better about not putting anything in it so that they'll get the same treatment Kodi gets. The reason Kodi can't get shut down is because if you install Kodi, it doesn't do anything for you. It doesn't give you illegal content. It doesn't give you copyrighted content. You can get it, but you got to do it yourself. And the APKs are starting to smarten up to that too, because so many of them have gotten shut down for just having an easy way to access it included. So you'll have to learn a little bit about, how do I install these, scrapers into this APK or whatever. But it's not that hard. You'll get a guide, you'll find a group, somebody will help you. There's, it's just not going to be, at least in my eyes, none of that shit should be on here anymore.
Right, 100%.
but it's still there. So, I don't think that. I think people just need to go to other platforms and seriously use Google. I mean, I started using an APK maybe 6-8 months ago or something that I had no idea how to use at all, and I Googled it, and I asked a couple of people that were using it, hey, what about this part? I'm a little stuck here. I was stuck. I teach people so much stuff, but it was my first time doing it, and I got stuck. So somebody helped me out. Now I can pay it forward and help someone else out when they ask me. It's just like that, nice and simple. One-on-one conversations, easy to have, quiet, not all over the place. Best way to do it. That's where I think everything's going and where it should be going anyway. Go ahead, Jugs.
The streaming community is like being single. You can go out and meet people and have as much fun as you want and be active and do things, but you want to be very select on who you bring home to mama. You know what I mean? So in the streaming world, you're going to learn that there's no stopping Kodi. There's no stopping the ABKs. There's no stopping IPTV. There's no stopping anything that allows anybody who chooses to do their research, to coin a phrase from DST, to do your research, is you're going to get everything that you want. Your choice if you want to take advantage of it. Your choice if you want to pay for things. Your choice if you want to do things for free. Your choice if you want to ride the gray line or be in the black, or if you want to go straight illegal. That's all your choice. So I foresee the streaming, not the community, but the streaming knowledge is never going to stop. It's just going to be more select. The people who are producing that or giving it available to people is more select. Like Lee said, one-on-one. The example that he was just talking about, he just helped me on an APK that I only heard of before, and because he said, hey, try it out, and he had to teach me and he had to guide me what to do here and stuff like that, and I like it. It's something new. I've posted, like on my Facebook that, it'll be a good backup, but it's never going to go away.
And it's new, like still getting updated, all that stuff. These things are all new, and they're going to keep evolving. So
if anybody in the community ever thinks that they are the end all be all of anything, you've got another thing coming. Like plain and simple, you're not the best, you're not the biggest, you're not the most reliable, you're not the best producing, you're not the best content,
you ain't nothing.
You're not. You're part of a community that is so huge that watching this on here, like we used to talk about this off camera and stuff like that, and I still get amazed on the community that I became part of, how vast it goes. I've met some excellent people. I've met some see you next Tuesday people. They've met me, the big mouth Juggernaut from Canada that doesn't give a shit, to the guy who was crying on camera when I was talking to a lady who had cancer who passed away, when I talked about a whole bunch of things. And you guys
don't forget that you've met some scammers too.
And I've met some scammers too. And it takes, like I said, so through all that, my mindset still says that it's never gonna end. And we always try to say it's going to get better, it's always going to get better. Well, it's constantly evolving, so it's only your definition of better. Right now, where I sit, what I do for watching television and even listening to music and stuff like that, it's never been better, but it keeps getting better. Every time there's an update, every time there's a new option, every time there's this, it's just like, so it's never going to end. It's never going to end. And I'm proud to say that following the footsteps of Lee and being privileged to join Supreme Builds, I put a huge motherfucking concrete ass whooping dent in the community, and I'm proud of it. I'm damn proud that we had Kodi. I'm damn proud we had the Builds. I'm damn proud that we helped start. We were part of a group that helped start one of the main big services, and not start as we owned it or anything like that. We promoted it, we pushed it, we moved it, stuff like that. And I'm not shy to say that part on there. If you want to find out more, message me. But but we helped and things like that, and we learned from it. We learned from those people. We learned when the Kenny Kenny not logins, Kenny whatever. Know when to fold them, know when to walk away.
Okay.
So when to fold them. Yeah, I know that
Kenny
song.
Rogers.
Kenny Rogers.
Kenny Rogers. And we've had to. I've learned so much from Lee. I've learned so much from Storm. I've learned so much from Yo-Yo. I've learned the list can go on and on and on. In my old mind, I can't remember half the people, and I like to ramble as people can see. But I'm so grateful on that, and I see the community still growing strong. I'm gonna come back in 6 months and walk. 6 months. 6 months. I must be hungry. 6 months.
Dinner time.
Yeah, 6 months, and I'm going to see a BS stream, and we're still going to be talking about how this has become even better, and this has exploded here, and this is a new guest, and this is an old guest, because it's never going to stop. It's never going to stop.
I'd just like to take 1 second and say to everyone that messaged me when Supreme Build's servers finally went down and said, my titanium doesn't work anymore, you guys are the real motherfucking MVPs, because you were still using titanium all the way now, and that wasn't even updated for like 2.5 years or something. Like, you still going.
To answer one of the questions out there, yes, if you have the fork still installed, it's still going to keep working.
Yeah, I mean, it'll still work. Just
Yeah.
uninstall the wizard, because the wizard is going to throw you errors, because
Yeah.
there's no more wizard server. So if you
Wizard's
have it
just
right
the man
now,
behind the
it's-
curtain.
yeah, just uninstall the wizard, and your build will still keep running. Until whatever add-ons don't work no more. But I couldn't believe anybody was still using that. I was like, what? You're asking me about titanium? Like,
It was
Yep.
like months after File Linked was dead and gone, I was still getting asked, hey, what happened to File Linked? And I was like, really, guys?
We were sitting around the bar down at our house, and I said that the end of an era. That's when we started messaging. What's that? Well, Kodi servers are shut down and no longer do that anymore. And friend of a friend of a friend of a friend said, "Oh, you know about stuff like that?" I do. Oh yeah, what build did you use? I don't know what you use. He goes, "Well, I've had titanium. I did Juggernaut for a while. I had another one, and so I stick right now with titanium." I'm like, cool. You want to see some pictures of titanium when it first was being written and evolved and everything it is now? How do you know that? Well, let me tell you a story. What? No, that's not you.
I'm
No,
the
I didn't-
Juggernaut.
I didn't create it. I took it over, and yes, I'm the Juggernaut, bitch.
Fuck off.
But it is, like I said, like, we I love how we go left and you let me talk and rant and stuff like that. But it is the streaming
Because there's
community
no
is
stopping the
gonna grow.
Juggernaut.
What's that?
That's because there's no stopping the Juggernaut.
Yeah, I know. It's just my motor mouth.
Jugs, would
But
you
I
like
am
to
a thankful
insert
to
anything else before next level ends the show?
Yeah,
Huh?
just like Lee said, thanks to everybody who helped support us by downloading it and using it. Titanium, everything. Did you mute me?
No, you're good.
No, you're good. No one to meet you.
Yeah, yet.
No, we don't do that shit on this show.
Where do you guys see? Okay, so basically, Rojas is kind of in the gray area, but we're the old school. You guys are the new school. Where do you see your streaming futures? You two. The jarhead and the hippie.
I'm still doing what I've been doing. The one thing I keep telling people is that we're going back to the dark ages, I guess, when you had to go actually like digging and searching and get a metal detector, see if you can find some coins out there, like whatever it is that you're trying to do. It's all the info is out there, and when we went through this phase of the K-app going down or this APK, like I finally got into the AP. Actually, I'll say this, when I finally got into the APKs, and I'll name this one because it's not around anymore, freaking TV Zion, that shit went down within a month. I'm like, what the freak? And I'm like, this is exactly why I don't do this crap. But I keep contemplating back and forth. I have my Telegram group, and I've been wanting to like share stuff like, hey, this is some stuff that I've been messing with. And then at the same time, I'm just like, well, the part of the reason why all these applications started having so much trouble is because sometimes people overshare things and then it catches fire, then everybody knows about it. So it's kind of like what Lee was saying earlier. What I would suggest for people to do is ask questions, like use Google search, and if it's something that new that you're just like, I have no idea what this is, ask somebody. And you never know, somebody might be like, hey, you know what, yeah, you can still use RD or whatever it is with this app, or you could set up certain things here, there. And for me, when it came to the whole APKs, I learned from this guy. He was the one that was telling me like, hey, you need to change this, change this, change this. And that's all you got to do. Just ask questions. There's stuff out there that it reminds me way back from XBMC days. And, all this stuff it's going to continue to evolve. Right now, what we're seeing, there's something is coming. I don't know what that's going to be within the next couple of years, but something's coming that's going to be big. And yeah, that's what I'll say. Just keep searching and you'll find whatever it is that you guys are looking for.
So I guess I'll start with a quote from one of the biggest OGs. Take chances, make mistakes, get messy. What up, Miss Frizzle?
All right, Rizzo.
Nah. So what I see what's happening right now is, yeah, there's still a lot of gray area streaming stuff that it is this top level surface, right? And I think that it's gonna slowly move under that surface, but it's not really gonna be completely drowned out where only the people that are bottom feeders that are gonna still be doing that until the services really figure out what Lee was talking about earlier, where if they really get into those tier-based services where they offer up a lot of either free or cheap or subsidized some way somehow through some service in regards to ads or combining with other products and services like cell phones or whatever. What?
Nothing. Keep talking.
What's going on?
You're good.
I don't know what we're talking about. Okay, anyways. Yeah, so I feel like we're kind of in that crossroads that the closer that we get to them really subsidizing legal, legit content is kind of the more underground a lot of this streaming stuff is going to go. Because let's be realistic, Netflix was king for so long, but their prices and what they provide is a little bit unreasonable. And I think a lot of people are starting to accept that. When we look at services like Disney Plus and we look at services, things like Tubi TV and even Plex, right? There's a vast category of content out there that is being given legitly for a great value, either free or inexpensive, right? The Disney bundle that's going up to $20, that's going to include ad-free Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN for $20 a month. You can't argue that's still not a value plan. You know what I mean? So I think that there's going to be a lot more content that's going to be pushed out, and we're going to figure that out down the road. And the closer that we get to more value content that's legit, is the more you're going to have to bottom feed for the other stuff.
Yeah.
That's where I see the streaming community going.
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely.
What I like about it, and just recap what I'm saying. Oh my God, I just want to go off. Is
Yo, you haven't gone through your name a list yet, or what?
No, I decided, but what I see, just like you're saying, next level is there's not going to be no forerunner. In the past, you'd have those who are trying to get, I have the best of this, or I produce this, or I give you this, or things like that. There's going to be no such thing anymore, because seems like it is that it's going further and further underground, which is going to be way better for the community in a whole, on the whole, and the long run. But that's where you're going to start seeing the what do you call it? The cream the cream of the crop that's going to come up and still help people and things like that. I hope that the streaming community still allows people to get their hustle on and make their money, no matter how they're doing it. You do you, regardless of what people think or anything like that. But then you're going to see a lot of those who are going to come back around, like we did, Lee, when we first started in Rojas as well, and you too, Next Level, is we wanted to help people. We wanted to produce and provide information that people can grow on, and we've laid a lot of work. There's people before us. There's going to be people after us. So it's all fun and games until, you lose an eye.
Oh, show, or you get your head popped off.
Yeah.
So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and start wrapping it up. We'll go ahead and start with next up. I'm going to let Jugs, I know it's been a while, so I'm going to give you a minute to think about how you used to end your show, because it's been a while since you've been doing your show. So I'll let you think about it. So I'll start with Next Level, and then I'll go, then Lee, and then Jugs last. So Next Level, what do you got to say before we get the hell out of here?
You know what I'm going to say is much respect for the people that are above me and around me in the chat everywhere, because nobody came into this community knowing everything. And even though I was never a big Kodi player, everybody affects somebody in this community, and you learn little bits and pieces from everybody, right? Supreme Builds has always been around, and no matter where I go, I'm either learning from them directly or indirectly. You know what I'm saying? Like, you affect the community, so respect for all the work that you guys have done and that you're going to continue to do. This community is crazy. It's insane. Some of the people that I've connected with through my path in the streaming community, we've gone on to do other things that are not streaming related, because everybody's got talents that stretch far beyond everything in the streaming community, right? Lee's talked about his photography. Jugs talked about crushing people's skulls or something. I don't know, something along those lines. But, respect. Thank you guys a lot. Yeah, so that's what I got to say. Just respect. Thank you guys.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, again, thanks for coming and talking with us. I know people have been asking what's been going on with Supreme Builds. I saw Jug's post, and I was the very first person that was like thank you, and then I think right away I told Next Level about it. We started talking about it, and I hit you guys up almost like immediately. So always appreciate you guys coming. And it's not really a goodbye.
It's not a goodbye.
It's like, yeah, it's not a goodbye. It's like, hey, we'll have more conversations. We'll be talking shit about some random crap that we see all the time. I'm sure of it. So, but always appreciate you guys. Anybody out there that's listening, make sure you guys leave us a comment below. Let us know what was your most memorable part of today's show. That would be interesting to see or hear. But
Jug said,
yeah, everything that Jug said. But always appreciate you guys for stopping by and listening to our BS. Lee, what do you got to say before we go?
Not too much. I mean, it's been a fun ride all these years, just working on builds and doing that stuff when I was doing it. But I mean, like I said, I've been out of it a couple of years already. It's just that the servers finally went down. So I met a lot of people that I will have as friends forever, I think, so people that know where to find me, And for everybody else, thank you for coming along on the ride. And I think that it's just important to know that, one, streaming will never go anywhere. Two, you gotta, I think it's just, keep positive attitudes all the time. That's how I always was, I never took part in any of the craziness in the community. If anything, I try to stop it sometimes if I knew both sides of things or whatever, but especially now, I would say if I have a message to anyone that's in the community itself still and is still active in this community of streaming, just cut the bullshit, work together, be friendly, because there's so much more scrutiny on the community now than there ever was. The last thing you need is a bunch of people, still running around beefing with each other over dumb, stupid nonsense. So, come together, whoever's out there, and just, behave yourselves and do something positive for the community in general. Don't put any energy into negative stuff. And to the people that are looking for information from other people in the community that are still out there, don't don't feed the people that are negative. Feed the positive people, because those are the ones you want sticking around. So that's really all I got to say. Just, everybody, I hope everybody stays positive. Peace and love to everybody. That's it.
All right, Jugs, you got the last word. Whatever you got to say. Good luck, everyone.
I kind of thought before coming on here, it's been a while, and you can tell that I've had so many other things happening in my life that I've forgotten a lot of names of people who, for good or bad, were part of this community that we have, and I've mentioned a couple names and blasted a couple people just because for shits and giggles and stuff like that, because that's just me. I'm the big mouth and stuff, and I don't give a fuck what you think. But the biggest thing for me is we all have to appreciate that the reason why we're sitting here, not just to view four guys on here, is because at one point or another we enjoyed or made use of, programmed, sold, did whatever, Kodi, and anything that evolved because of our involvement with that, all the way to the one-click apps, the IPTV, the VOD services, everything like that, to podcasts, broadcasts, YouTube channels, everything comes from something that we all enjoyed and hopefully continue to enjoy. So it's a big, strong community. To those who may be on here, that if you are the negative, you're just sitting back and waiting for a backlash, or are waiting for something to create a video of because of this person has said this, or this person said that, or Juggernaut said this, and whatever. With all due respect, go fuck yourself. Stop the bullshit, like Lee said. There's room for everybody. You're not the number one. You're never going to be the number one. But you are the number one, and you'll always be the number one. You know what I mean? Once you learn that and accept it, things will go way better. I'm so grateful for this community that's allowed me to go off the hook, to have headbutting battles with people like from DST, and meet people and be surrounded with some good folks and learn from some bad folks. And I don't want to say bad folks as in they're a bad person, because they may very well be, and if they've earned it, they've earned it. But some of their actions speak better, more than words. And I'm full of both. I'm a 350-pound biker that has a lot of actions, but I also speak a lot. So if someone like me can learn to produce something that helped people, that educated people, that entertained people, you can too. If someone like me, who has been able to provide for my family on the side hustles and the things that I've learned from this community and haven't hurt anybody in the process, you can too. Anybody can do it. I see a lot of great things, and there's so much I want to say, but I don't, like, it's just so weird because I don't want to get off the broadcast, because I don't want to be saying goodbye. And we're not saying goodbye, but in essence, at one point we are. Lee and I are no longer pushing
Together?
the Supreme Builds lifestyle. Again, I say lifestyle because it changed my life. Like, you have no idea. And the future is these two guys below us, and anybody else who's watching. I see a lot of people, they're making some jokes about digital, cryptocurrency, and I have a service and do this, and little weasels in there too and shit like that, and everybody. But you make your life. Do it. Live your life, brothers and sisters. I just can't stress that enough. I wish I had something, something that would just cap it all off at that age. I'm just at a loss for words of how privileged I feel being part of this community. I'm not leaving, but we're not doing Kodi anymore. So I got to thank Lee, publicly, and I've said it before. Thank you for everything that you've done for me. Supreme Builds, and again, I'm going to be Supreme Builds for life. I have my hat, and I don't wear it. The reason is I wear it rarely, but I don't want to get it dirty because it means so much to me. It's like a fucking trophy. That and in that, I still use Kodi. I still look at the code. I still, wish I was doing more, but I'm not going to. And the things that I've learned from the people in Supreme Builds, all the way from the admins to the users to to the customers, the subscribers, the different personalities, the opinions, the fights, the parties, everything like that, all the way to the podcasts, to the videos, to the live streams that I learned to do, because all this has been a great, wonderful experience. And there's gonna be a lot less from me, but I mean, like, I just want to say that I put it out there is live life to the fullest, because tomorrow's not guaranteed. You never know if you're going to close your eyes tonight and never open them again, and what's left behind is the memories that people get to share about you, the stories they get to tell about you. A picture can say no, words can say a few things, but a picture can say 1,000 different things. So take pictures, enjoy life, take it all in. I used to have a short little blurb at the end and stuff like that, but it's so powerful. Is again, life is never guaranteed. So, like, ride this train till the motherfucking wheels fall off. I'm telling you, like, it's just, and reach out to those that you love and tell them that you love them, whether you get it back or not. Leave positive things behind. Try to live a positive life, and love, peace, and chicken grease.
Yo, just wrapping it up real quick. Thank you guys, everybody. And wherever you're watching us or listening to us from, make sure you leave a comment or a review so other people like yourself can find the content that you enjoy. Make sure you come out every Thursday for our live show if you want to be part of the conversation, be a part of the community. And we'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.